In the Oval Office shows Phil Hartman as President Biden asleep at his desk. John Belushi, as Biden's chief of staff, enters the office and pounds on the table. Belushi, wake up, Mr. President. Hartman rises his head from the desk and says, "Come on, officer. She told me she was 14. Belushi, what? It's not even close to the age of consent. Hartman, well, 14 beats 11. Belushi, anyway, Mr. President, we have a lot of work to do in this next year if you're going to win back the presidency. Hartman, okay, well, I hope you're ready for that hard work then. I'm going to be taking it easy. Belushi, what are you talking about, Mr. President? You need to be out on the campaign trail. Hartman, I'm not doing any hard campaigning, Jethro. Belushi, it's Jeff, Mr. President. Hartman, whatever, come on, man. Can't we just do a lot of Zoom-a-looms over the computers? That sort of thing. Belushi, that may have worked during COVID, Mr. President, but this cycle you're going to have to get the boots on the ground and get out there yourself. Hartman, boy, that seems like a lot of work for an old whippersnapper like me. Belushi, Mr. President, your main competition in Trump and Kennedy are 77 and 69 respectively. Hartman, Trump I remember. He's that Agent Orange fella who's a threat to democracy. But who's this Kennedy you're talking about? I thought Teddy was dead. Belushi, it's not Ted Kennedy, sir. It's Robert F. Kennedy, Jr. Hartman, well, he's a Kennedy, for God's sake. Can't you just get one of those alphabet agencies to kill him? Belushi, we're working on that, sir, but in the meantime, you better prepare yourself for hitting the campaign trail. Hartman, oh, come on, man. Belushi, and Mr. President, the leader of the Black Congressional Caucus is on her way up for a photo op. Hartman, well, let me ask you, Jiminy Cricket. Belushi, it's Jeff, sir. Hartman, let me ask you. Is this leader of the Congressional Blackest or whatever you said, is she black? Belushi, yes, Mr. President. Hartman, well, I better hide my wallet then, huh? Jasper, did you know that I was once good friends with Strom Thurmond? Belushi, now may not be the best time to bring that up, Mr. President. Miss Moss will be up here any second. Hartman, okay, well then, let me prep. Jameson, do black lives still matter? Belushi, yes, of course, Mr. President. Biden, okay then, very good. Then come on, man. I'm ready for this black broad. Chris Farley is a photographer, and Denitra Vance is the congressional leader of the Black Caucus enter the office. Vance, hello, Mr. President. Hartman stands up and says, LaQuisha, it's so good to see you. Vance, my name's Mary, Mr. President. Hartman, well, I was close. How's the family? Do you have any young daughters? Vance, I have a granddaughter who's 10. Hartman, oh, what an age that is, 10. They're so supple and attractive at that age. Vance looks away embarrassed. Hartman, well, how about that photo then? Hartman and Vance stand next to each other in front of the desk as Farley begins snapping photos. As Vance and Farley leave the office, Hartman saunters back over to the desk, sits down, puts his feet up on the desk and says, come on, man. The things I got to do for the black vote. Who are they kidding? It's not like they're going to vote for Trump. Belushi, actually, Mr. President, recent polling shows that Trump has made inroads in the black community. Hartman, nonsense, Josephus. Once they vote black, they never go back. Or something like that. Anyway, dead from the earth, we're not alive. It's Saturday Night Alive, starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks, Norm MacDonald, Gilda Radner, Denitra Vance, and with many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest, Sixto Rodriguez, and your host, Norman Steinberg. Everybody, Norman Steinberg. Applause, applause, applause. Show Steinberg on stage who says, Thank you, thank you. I was a television director, producer, and screenwriter. I wrote several projects with dentist Alan Ugger before we were hired by Mel Brooks to write for his 1974 film Blazing Saddles. Applause, applause, applause. Steinberg. I might seem like a peculiar choice to host this 2-year anniversary episode, but the reason I was chosen is because, like the producer of this show, before I got into comedy writing, I worked as an attorney. In the 1960s, after law school, I practiced copyright law in Manhattan for $100 per week and worked on music publication deals involving She Loves You, one of the first Beatles songs released in the U.S. Then I met Mel Brooks at a chock-full of nuts cafe across the street from my law office, and the comedy legend gave me a chance to write a script for Get Smart. The spy spoof wound up getting canceled, but that didn't dissuade me, as I gave up my legal career to try my hand at show business. And as this show celebrates its 2-year anniversary, my understanding is that the producer of this show is also a lawyer trying to get into show business. Well, I'll say this. If I can do it, then so can he. All he has to do now is meet Mel Brooks at a cafe across the street from where he works. Good luck. Joe King comes out on stage and says, "That's right. Thank you, Norman. Thank you for showing me here on our 2-year anniversary that it's not impossible, that you actually can go from the law business to show business. And just so you know, Norm, I'm unapologetically pro-Semitic." Steinberg. Why did you bring that up? Okay. Well, with a name like Steinberg, I just figured you were Jewish. And I just want you to know that this show is a safe space for you and your people. Steinberg. I appreciate that, Joe, but it's kind of weird that you would bring that up out of nowhere. Okay. Normie, I'm trying to get into show business, therefore I mention I'm unapologetically pro-Semitic whenever I can, okay? Steinberg. That's great, Joe. Anyway, we have a great show tonight. Sixto Rodriguez is here, so get ready to search for Sugar Man. We'll be right back.